That's just hit Son Toby Clark, and Charlie Hodgson knows exactly how.
Bitch, I wanna party like Chris Farley.
In this documentary, I'll be looking at how injuries affect rugby now and in the future. In the last few years, rugby has become more physical, with players getting bigger and more aggressive. Inevitably, this means the collision phase becomes a lot more dangerous, with 44% of all head injuries being concussions. This figure could be a lot higher, as most concussions go unreported. This could be due to a lack of knowledge on identifying symptoms, plus with a mix of people who do know how to deal with concussions, go through the right procedures of rest and recovery, but don't report to a doctor. Most injuries are experienced between the age range of 10 to 18-year-olds.
How many of these boys do you
Physical
think are going to play
activity-
rugby if you can't tackle?
Well, that's absolutely not true. They can play touch rugby, and in fact,
Touch rugby?
Maggie herself has said she loves touch rugby.
Have you watched touch rugby?
Children,
Well, let's bring-
I have,
Hang on,
and
before we
many
get to the
children
other side.
outside of the school
before we
game
get to
Are
the
actually
you
actual
play
touch
touch
rugby
rugby.
you're seriously suggesting?
Piers, you're not listening to me.
I'm listening to you. You just suggested that touch rugby is a viable alternative to proper rugby.
I am in school game. The school game, if you're concerned about injuries and the...
I spoke to Gareth, a Maidenhead's Colts coach, on the reasons why he thinks injuries are becoming a bigger issue. I'm sure you've heard about people wanting to ban contact rugby in schools. How do you think this will impact participation rates in local clubs?
In local clubs, well, I think if schools continue to make a lot of noise about how dangerous rugby is, then it might have a risk of reducing numbers. But I don't know. I think most clubs are so well run with qualified coaches that it oughtn't, I hope, to make too much difference.
In a recent interview about this topic, a point was made that stated that it would actually be more dangerous banning contact in schools, as when they get out of school and play, they wouldn't have the experience or knowledge on tackling safely. Do you agree with this?
I completely agree with that. It's the easiest way to minimise risk of injury, I think, is to coach proper technique. So you can do that from an early age, and it builds their own confidence. An awful lot of injuries that do happen in tackling are perhaps either because of a lack of technique and the head goes on the wrong side or something, or there's just a general sort of only 50% commitment because they're a bit nervous. Whereas if you're committed and you know what you're doing, you're far less likely to get hurt, I think. It's still a game for all shapes and sizes at Colts level and junior levels. And whilst at the professional level, yes, they're all enormous. I don't think it's that much of an issue as you move down to junior clubs.
And do you think correct coaching at a young age is the key to further help reduce injuries in rugby?
Well, I'm biased, but yes, I think probably. As I say, if you coach technique, if you get them fit and build their confidence in what they're doing, I think that should all help minimise injury rates. Okay.
I spoke to Charlie, an academy and Scotland. So Charlie, you've been playing contact rugby since you were 8. Do you think that being introduced into contact at a young age has been beneficial to how you play today?
Yeah, I think learning the technique when you're younger helps you go through the levels of rugby which you play as well. So if you learn the simple technique when you're younger, playing against guys similar size to you, so then it helps me now when I'm playing against bigger guys. You know, I've got the basic technique of how to tackle them and how to get them to the floor, and in a safe way as well, and avoid injury.
Okay. So you're doing really well with your rugby career at the moment, and I'm sure you'll carry on to do so. Have there been any big injuries so far in your career?
I've actually been quite lucky with my injuries. The only two major ones I've had are I dislocated and broke my right thumb, and then recently I got a bursitis in my right arm, and that was just from playing contact, just fell on it awkwardly. I've had a longer injury with my back, but that's mainly due to with the weight training that comes along with rugby. But yeah, I've been quite lucky, but just see how it goes.
Do you think they shook you at all or made you worry about the outcome of going into contact again?
Yeah, I'm definitely more aware of where I place my thumb, for instance. Now I like to strap it up as well, just to make sure. I also wear an arm guard now for my right elbow. But so yeah, it makes you more aware, but it doesn't faze me. I still like the contact side of the game, but
Yeah.
you just got to be more aware of where you place your hands and try and avoid. So what gave me the injuries last time, I try and avoid what happened, and so it doesn't happen again.
Right. What do you think they could do to reduce serious injuries in the game?
It's hard because rugby is such a big physical game. You're always going to have injuries. It's part of the game. Sadly, it's just natural. I'd say making sure that players really know the technique of how to tackle that, because a lot of the time it's themselves putting themselves in danger.
Yeah.
So yeah, making sure you train like you're going to play. So you go through everything, even the finest details in contact. In the training side is going to help you get out of those bad habits for the game. In terms of rules, I think everything's as good as it can be at the moment. Obviously, the law changes every year, so but for me at the moment it's okay. It's just got to avoid. Just make sure you've got a good physio as well, I'd say, so they can help out. Yeah.
After hearing from a player's and coach's point of view, we can tell that injuries still play a big part in the game, and at the moment there is nothing much more we can do to stop this. Rugby, being a physical sport, will always mean the risk of injury, as will any other sport. The only way to lower injuries at the moment would be to concentrate on training at a younger level and to warm up properly before each game and training. And any other laws could jeopardise the game for the future. And I, like many others, love the game how it is. Thank you for watching Rugby Big Hits tackling the truth around injuries. See you later.